Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are here for the first time, motto of this channel is to learn something every day and if possible share it with others so we all can learn together. So without any further ado, let's get started. In the previous two videos, in the part 1 we have seen the glimpse of decorators. We have tried to understand what decorators are in Python. And in the second part, we have taken a simple problem called lending a bike, and then we have added some decorators to that method, like you are seeing on the screen. Let me make it a little bit bigger. In the previous video, we have solved this problem of lending bike. So we had checked whether a person have a valid license or not before giving him his bike, right? Yeah, so in this video, we will try to look into how Python decorators can be used in cybersecurity. So, continuation with the same problem that we have in the part 2, where we don't want to give a bike to our friend directly, but we want to check if he had a proper license or not. If he have a license, then we'll give him the bike. If he don't have a license, then we'll just say you need to have a license buddy. But like I have mentioned, just giving the bike is insufficient for security reasons. Uh, Checking for a license is also a good practice because it's also secure way, like making sure that your bike has a good security, right? Again, you know the concept of defense in depth, right? So like we can add as many layers as possible if that particular function requires it. Like we can add multiple layers of security if it is very critical. So I consider giving my bike to my friend is something critical, and I want to make sure that I have a good record of everything. So in order to have that record, we need to somehow print the time at which he requested the bike, right? So for that purpose, we'll start by importing a module from datetime. So in Python we have datetime module, and from that we will import datetime class. So basically we are trying to import datetime. So this is a format. So after importing datetime, we will be able to capture the current time, date, and we can give it a format whatever that we wanted. Like for example, we can print, we can you can use year, month, date, or date, month, year. So this kind of formatting you can do. Like you can play around with the current time. So if you are importing this time, I mean there can be many ways, but I think this is a usual way people use to print the current time. So we have imported that module, and we will also do one thing. We will import another what do we say module named time. So I'll tell you the purpose of this later, but let's for time being let's put it here because I don't want to forget importing it. But yeah, so we have done what we have done is we have imported the date and time to capture the current time, and I have imported time so that I'll be able to do some functionality in the later stage. Okay, so now we have a way for us to capture the time. Now, for example, if he has like a person has a license or person doesn't have a license, and he is trying to ask you your bike, then you'll do this check, and while doing this check you want to have a record of when that particular person requested your bike, because someone in future, if somebody comes to you and say if he took your bike and did something wrong, let's say somebody will come to you and ask at what time did you give for authenticity, right? So you should be in a position to tell he took your bike in a particular time. So how do we do that? Before printing this, so hey, uh, Let's say, hey Sricharan, right? So, hey Sricharan, you need to have a license. But at the same time, what we'll do is we'll record some time. Like for example, uh, let's okay, after returning we can't write the statement. Let's put it before itself. So what we'll do is we'll take some variable like requested it. Uh, let's say it's a variable, and since we have the date time module, we can use that to find the current time. So date time dot now. So this function will give you the current time at which he requested the bike. So whenever this particular lend bike function runs, whenever it is checking the license state, it will also get the time at that point in time, right? So, and that will be stored in request tag. But also we want to give some formatting for that. Like I want time to be printed in certain format. So how do we do that? Like we have a string format time in this particular, like you can see, this is a advantage of having Python for your IDEs. So in Visual Studio Code I have installed Python extension, so that's why I'm able to see this particular example. So what I'll do is I'll take the same, uh, let's give something like a date, a month and year. At the same time, hours. Usually we give this person, right? Hours, this character, right? Hours, minutes, and seconds. But the proper format is you need to have a percentage in front of everything so that it will have a proper reference. So this is the syntax. Like we are just saying that print date first, month later, and year, and the particular time at which this particular function is being executed, right? And then let's see if at all it's working fine or not. So all only the change that we have did is if he don't have license, this particular time will get stored, that particular time will get stored in request tag, and let's print it. Print requested. Then let's say we'll say, hey buddy, you don't have a license. Let's save this and let's try to run it. As you can see, first it came here uh, when we ran the function lend bike. It came here and saw the decorator. It came here, and if he doesn't have a license, since our first print statement doesn't have a license, since the license is false, if not license, meaning this will execute. So it took the current time. So you can see 8th February 2025 and evening 8:30 8:03 p.m., right? So that's when I'm recording. You can see in the bottom of my screen also. Right? So it is recorded in that time, and that is being printed. And then since he don't have a license, it's just saying, hey buddy, hey Sricharan, you need to have a license. And as usual, when the license is true, this function is when the license is true, we are giving a function, we are asking it to run a function. So it comes here and it will say, here is a bike, have fun and safe ride. So don't get confused, just simple. So when the license is false, it will execute this, and when the license is true, it will execute this part. So if not license, it will execute this. If there is a license, then it will execute this. Since this is calling a function, it will come here and print this. Got it, right? It's that simple. Don't get confused. If you are still confused, please I encourage you to watch part 1 and part 2 so that it will be very clear. So we'll uh, okay, now what we are doing is we are printing time for a use case when the license doesn't exist. We want to have uh, a we want to have a record we want to have a record when a person has a license also. So now we are only printing time when they don't have a license. Now I want to print the time even when the person has a license. So when this particular statement executes, so when the control comes here, I'll again capture that particular time, copy, paste, and request that. I'll say just 2 minutes. So this just request that is our first, when there is no license, and when there is a license, it is requested it. Maybe that will be make sense. Requested it, requested it, and let's print this requested at 2. So I'm saving this and running this. So as you can see, it will print 2 times. Basically, when first one executed, so when the control came here, basically when the license is false, it said you need to have a license buddy, and when the license is true, it's saying have here is my bike, have fun. But again, if you see, there is no much difference, right? You will not be able to say which, because our programs run in fraction of seconds like that. So you need to know, you will not be able to find any time difference when there is such small program. Maybe computer can find difference like in microseconds or something, but we will not be able to find. And the format that I'm using is limited to seconds, right? So it's executed in within seconds, like two functions, 2 times the function got executed in within fraction of seconds. So that's why there is no difference. So to create some difference, what I'll do is in the second part, when the license, when there is a proper license, it will run this function, right? So here I will, what I'll do is I'll try to add some delay. So I want this person to wait for some time. How do we do that in Python is just we have a function called module called time, and I'll make it sleep for a certain time. So initially I have told you that I'm importing time, right? So this is the purpose of it. So time dot sleep, I'll say sleep for 3 seconds, right? Let's save this. If you observe, we are printing it here, like we are returning this statement, and it is directly being returned. And if you see, we are printing it before running the function. So we have added the function in the, like we are adding time delay within the function. So we will not be able to find the time here. So what I'll do is I'll put this after the function. You got it right. So I'm first executing the function. I'll, instead of returning, I'll store it in a variable, because after return statement, these two, it will come out of loop, and these statements will never execute it. So I'll, instead of returning here, what I'll do is I'll store it in a variable. Let's say response of that function, and after printing the time, then I'll return the response. That's it, guys. If everything is fine, just an overview from my understanding, I'll tell you. So when we don't have a license, it will come here. When there uh, when we don't have a license, we are calling a lend bike function, and with the case that we don't have a license, so it will come here lend bike, and it will see it has a decorator. It will come here, and since they don't have a license, this part will get executed. And since there is no license, it will capture the time at which that is requested, and we are printing it. So for this demonstration purpose, we are just printing it, but usually we will write it to a log file, so it can be stored in a secure manner somewhere. So this request at value will be returned to some other file where only admins have access to, so in real life. But for demonstration purposes, I'm just printing it here. Then I'm saying that you need to have a license buddy. So our first request is this, and then second case when the license exists. So a person requested a bike and a license. So for easier purpose, I'll make this instead of Sricharan, I'll say uh, maybe Prabhas. Yeah. So when Sricharan requested without a license, it will say, "Hey Sricharan, you need to have a license, buddy." When Prabhas requested and he has a license, so it will come here. If there is a license, so it will execute this function, and during execution of this function, it has a time delay of 3 seconds. So it will wait here for 3 seconds, then it will return this statement. This statement, it will be returned, and whatever that is being returned by that function will be stored in the response. So this particular uh, statement will be stored in response, and we are returning that response, and that response we are printing it. So the second case when Prabhas requested, right? So again, after during, like I mentioned, this executing this function will take 3 seconds. So our time would be past 3 seconds, like that. If you pull the time, there will be, like, from first case to second case, there should be a time difference of 3 seconds, because the second function took 3 seconds time. So if everything is good, then it should work. Let's see. I'll clear this terminal. Let's run it. And yeah, first statement executed, and second statement, uh, you can see 15, 16, 17, 18, exactly 3 seconds delay, because I have added it here 3 seconds. So since he Prabhas have a license, you can see, "Hey Prabhas, here is my bike, have fun and safe ride." So just for verification purpose, I'll make this 7 or maybe 8, and save it and run it. It feels good when your program runs. So you can see 8, now it will be 8 seconds delay. First, when I requested without a license, the time was 50 seconds. When Prabhas requested the uh, with a license, the function has executed for 8 seconds, and you can see the 8 seconds time delay. So the reason why I have added time delay here is basically in real life, I will be requesting maybe today morning, and somebody in the evening might come and request it. So usually in real life, uh, people will be requesting in different time periods, right? Times, different times. uh, but here I have written one by one, so just for you to find the difference, I have added time delay, so that you will get to understand how the time is being recorded. So hope you understood. So how this, like in security, cyber security, this is how you log that request time. So you now, when somebody comes and asks you, like, when when did Prabhas take bike from you, you can straight away go to your log file and give him the exact date and time, including the seconds also, right? So that's how it improves your security. And I think this is a major use case how Python decorators can be used. So for example, not only this one, if any function, if you want to print date and time, you just have to add this decor function in front of it. Just put at the rate decor, and that's it. It will give you the time for it will print the time, like basically whenever that function is running, it will give that time at which that function ran, and it will record. Like if you write this output, like instead of printing, if you write it to a file, then it will be stored there forever, or at least like whatever the retention period. Like basically, if you want to delete it within 30 days, like no incident happened within 30 days, then you can make it automatically deleted. There are many services like AWS also, we have retention policies, like the S3 buckets will automatically delete the records if if you don't want them more than 60 days. Like similar to your gallery, right? If you delete something, it will be stayed for 30 days and then it will be deleted permanently. So yeah, this is how you can add security to your applications. Especially Python decorators can extend your existing functionality without changing it. Uh, and as you have seen here, we have explored how we can print the current time and date, so that you will have a record of everything. If you feel this logging mechanisms or decorator pythons, like if you feel like this can be used in more creatively or more use cases in real life, please do comment. I would love to see those inputs. Like I just want to understand how creative you guys are in order to use the python decorators. I definitely love to see your inputs, and do let me know how you found this video, and I hope you learned something new today, and I hope you all will learn something new tomorrow and in future also. But yeah, as a motto, keep learning something every day. And thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll be making more content in Python and cybersecurity. Thank you.